Well, hello, everybody. Is it Tuesday already? Did we just go around and spend a whole week waiting again? Welcome aboard. This is Comic Industry Insiders Live. My name is Adam Freeman, and you've entered the little liminal space that we call the pre-show banter. I think that's where we settled in. I don't know, but let me bring in. Let's bring in Andrea. Why not? Hey, Andrea, how are you? Let's don't bring her in. Let's remove her from there. I don't know how that happened. All right, we are in technical. We are just having a great time technically this week. All right, Brian.
I'm not ready. Turn me off. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We're in some sort of technical something. That's for sure.
I think it's an astrological thing. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I had electricians in here on Friday, and I disassembled everything, and then 10 minutes before this, I was like, oh, I don't have a camera, I don't have lights, I don't have a microphone. What am I doing? So I literally threw it all together, and everything seems to be working. It was perfect.
Okay. Somebody just texted me Andrea's pronunciation, so I'm going to get that right when I do actually introduce her. But I'm not doing that right now because the camera's all over the place. But I am going to welcome to the stage our very own Mr. Joe Keating. See, I do that not giving you a hint of what it is until I hit the button. It's my favorite bit. Is it me? No, it's not me. Yes. Okay, good.
That is the best.
You usually time it for coffee, and I've learned that to not be drinking coffee during this portion of the program because it's usually when I come right on.
Unintentional spit take.
How you doing this week, my friend?
Oh, doing great. Looking forward to coming back to ComicsPRO. It's been since 2019, I think. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe one or two in there, but yeah.
Let's bring some people in out of order then. In that case, because you invoked ComicsPRO, so we might as well bring a board member on. What up?
Hello.
Shannon Live. How are you?
Good. I was like, oh, that's me. I heard ComicsPRO. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're all going 6 different directions at the same time, but it's happening. It's all happening. How about you?
Yeah, 6 different directions at the same time sounds right. I just said when we were talking before coming out here that I have 8 slide decks to do for next week. So I'm like, I feel like I'm getting there. Like once I check off those 8 slide decks, I'll feel confident. And
I recommend if you can get yourself a Blake and then just don't tell him that you need to do it until 10 minutes before. Then it'll just magically happen. It's incredible.
I was sitting on my couch on Sunday night just going through the Whova schedule and everything, and I was like, oh, I'm on a panel. Cool. Oh, I'm on 2 panels. Cool.
Adam Volin told you. So no.
Yeah, that's not even the one that one I thought I might be on, but I wasn't sure.
Am I on more than one?
There's another one. What's that?
No, you're only on. You have the one. He's got a data panel. So.
Which I didn't know. That was a surprise. That was fun. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh,
you wanted on that one. I'm not gonna lie.
And then, oh, I'm at a bar on Wednesday night at 8:00. Okay, all right. Well,
here we go.
Here we go. Let's dance.
I did add you to the data one without asking because I was like, well, Brian wants to be there.
It makes sense.
It's always Katie are gonna be there. Why wouldn't Brian be there too?
It's always time for data, 100%. Let's see who's a little bit stable here. At some point we're gonna have to have a beard check for Gabe, but I think right now we have a new face this week, who is not. Camera is not visible.
Steph really needs to invest in a second hamster.
Your camera's not working.
I see myself just fine, thank you very much.
Not on the screen with everybody else.
It looks fine on my end. I don't know what to tell you. I'm showing up in all my glory. So.
I really want to make a joke about this black screen being your glory, but I'm not going to do that. You know why? Because that's the kind of joke you would make about me.
Yeah.
You're better than that, Adam. You're better than that. He's not better than that, folks. He's not better than that.
All right. Who else do we have here? We're gonna bring in, just bring in everybody here. I think. Well, we have Andrea is joining us today. Is the camera stable? Did we?
Yes.
Okay.
I was trying to make it landscape so it matched everybody else, but I decided that it was better to keep the camera from falling. So
have you considered a Dutch tilt? Maybe, you know.
Ooh. Well, that I can do by just
66
sticking an extra
Batman?
book under the end. So
That's some film school BS there. That's what that is. It's yeah.
That's actually Batman 66 BS. That's just being
Miss Jen King. You know what? I know you're not good at being on camera, so I wanted to thank you for coming on. I know this is new for you, this whole experience.
Sorry,
how
I
are
screwed
things?
up the last time. There was another one I was supposed to do, and I was just like,
That's all right. We got through it. We figured it out. We made it happen without you somehow. You ever look down and realize, oh, I've got chocolate all over my hand. Okay.
That's not chocolate.
Shush now.
it's not chocolate.
It's chocolate. Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank God. Yeah. Somebody brought. Anyway, my SO dropped off a big thing of trail mix before she left, and it turns out there was whatever. Shut up, Adam. Okay. Great. Let's. All right. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go do a quick beard check. In fact, can we bring this up front here? Can we, I want to make sure that he gets a good, solid look in case we get a screen grab on Bleeding Cool. Okay. All right.
Nice.
It's already coming back.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, no, look,
Yeah.
it's like I said, it's been 12 years. I forgot entirely how long it takes to grow a beard back, right? I know how fast it grows to the point where I can't handle it anymore. I got to trim it. But I'm very upset. This morning, my daughter, while I was getting her ready for school, stood up on the changing table, grabbed my face, and said, "Your beard's growing back."
Oh,
It was great. It was great. It was
That's
awesome.
good stuff. All right. We don't need to just see the beard. All right, we might as well bring Blake on. What up, buddy? Where are you adding you to the stage? There we go.
Hello.
Hi. Did you you made all those changes, right? It's all done, right? It's all
Everything's done.
okay. Good, fantastic. Listen, this by the way is your cast.
We have a new graph today, everybody.
We decided not 12 minutes ago did we decide we had a new graph, and we pulled it off.
Like TI 83 and
Yeah.
graphing done.
This is your cast for today's live show. We're going to we're going to do a rundown here in a minute, but look at this. You know, so much you're going to learn today about the comics industry from this panel. I don't think you really need to know anything you couldn't learn from somebody here. Let's be real about that. All right. We have 5 minutes to go. Did anybody other than Gabe's beard have anything that we did is not in the rundown that we were going to talk about today? Because I have gotten the criticism that we don't talk about comics during the pre-show banter. But no,
It's just banter. It doesn't. We're not doing like a big comics roundup, right? It's the banter
I
portion.
know.
This is on any subject.
I know. Oh, there she is.
Hi. Do we have video now?
We
Stick
do.
your video.
Is this a Canadian thing that you guys are struggling
I
with
always
the
have
things
video.
like video today?
I'm not Canadian.
Andrew,
just
do you
friends with
do you want to
Brian.
be Canadian?
Yeah.
We'll make you an honorary
I
one.
do.
I was just
Yes.
gonna say, you're
Okay.
kinda
Thank
honorary.
you.
Perfect. You're in. You're in. Yes, it's just the Canadians today.
I was about to say Pacific Northwest. That's all kind of Canada, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's-
it's
Yes.
half
Yeah.
Canada. It's true.
We're all friends. We're all friends.
I do also have a crap ton of Canadian, like an entire French Canadian half of my family. So I'm
There you go.
I love
I'm
that.
honorary.
There
But
you go. They were smart
No,
enough to
nothing
leave.
that
What? What? I don't.
See, this is where you're not allowed in.
I don't know. They went to Windsor, so
now.
there's
Oh.
a
West
joke
Coast,
for Canada.
West Coast. West Coast, West Coast. Just saying. Right, Brian?
I'm currently living under like 10 feet of snow, so I can't argue with you. I wish I could, but I can't.
I have blue skies today, by the way. Blue skies.
I honestly, there are walls of ice all over our yards. Just walls of ice everywhere. I don't like it. I do not like
No,
winter.
it's the worst.
I'm ready to come and live with Shannon. That's what's happening.
The air conditioner's on at my house.
Shh.
Okay, next party's at Shannon's house.
Right. I know Adam told me he was either moving in or unfriending me because I sent him a picture one day of my meeting, which was on the river, which is the river that cuts in to make the Tampa Bay, and it was sunshiny, and the river is beautiful. It was 70, I think it said 77 degrees in the thing, and Adam was like, all right, we're either not friends or I'm staying at your house.
That is true.
Oh,
That is very true. I actually had a friend who's trying to get me to come to Florida for some she needs some help on something, and I'm this close to saying I'll be right there right after ComicsPRO. I'm coming.
Great weather.
All right, anybody have, we're gonna get into ComicsPRO tips. Brian and I are gonna give our favorites, but anybody have the thing they wish they knew before their first ComicsPRO meeting? Anybody come up with that? For me, I'm having a hard time. I think I've been to all of them but one, so I'm having a really hard time remembering a life before ComicsPRO, frankly. But
maybe that we're all kind of equally terrified.
That's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Judy from Bean has the best advice, and I wish somebody would have told me, is just sit at a different table for everything and say hi to the people at your table. That was the best advice I've seen, and honestly, that I went the first year that I went to ComicsPRO, I went by myself, and I had only ever done, I had done the online one, so I kind of knew who people were, but I didn't know anybody, and I just kind of sat at tables and said hi and hoped for the best, and it worked, So
Yeah, you were. I think that's where I met you the first time, and you were always at a different table. I think that's hilarious that you said that was good advice.
I was like, I don't know anybody, so don't. And I think the way I worded it this year to somebody new was, don't assume that because we all do know each other and it's almost like summer camp for us, don't assume that you're not welcome at that table.
Absolutely.
Because we are all going to be loud and see each other maybe once or twice a year, but that doesn't mean we're not equally excited to see you first timer as well. We're actually probably more excited to see you first timer than anybody, because we are excited that you're there. So,
and you're not walking in with baggage. It's awesome. You're brand new.
The fear thing is real, though. The fear thing is very real. Just remember that the Venn diagram that encapsulates all of us, all of the tiny pieces of our brain, we all share one tiny piece, and it's all right there at ComicsPRO. That's just what you have to focus on. Nobody's going to. We're all the same, is what I'm saying, and don't feel like you have to change who you are at Comic. I mean, we're all there for the same reason.
Yeah. I will admit, since she's here, that the person I was most nervous to introduce myself to was actually Jen. I really wanted to meet Jen, and I was so nervous to introduce myself to Jen. And so I was so excited when I got to sit next to her and say hi.
And she was very mean, right? She was very mean.
You're famously mean. Yeah.
Did I in fact hug you to death?
You did. I was a Texas store at the time too, so I was like, we're Texas women who run comic stores. Like, be my friend.
All
You're
right,
making me really get FOMO for ComicsPRO now. I'm just saying.
Well,
I'll say one of the big things: pace yourself.
Yes, that is a great. Yeah.
It's their long days, and there's always something you're missing. So.
Yeah,
very true.
And
come back next
if you're from the East Coast, prepare 2 weeks in advance. So I'm sorry about giving you such late advice, but I've been staying up till 3 a.m. just to make it to midnight.
Yeah, it is cooler for us on going west whenever it's on the East Coast, because we can wake up easier. Right. You're like, oh, I get to sleep until 9. Let's go. That's cool.
Blake is doing the Lord's work and dropping everybody, because we got to light this candle and get started. Let's go. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Adam Freeman. This is Comic Industry Insiders Live, a weekly look at what's happening in the comic book industry and our attempt to teach what we have learned and try and learn something from the people that from lessons we don't yet know. I just made that up. There's no scripting going on here. Let's talk to somebody who's a bit smoother than I am, shall we? My partner in crime, my Canadian other, Mr. Brian Garside. How are
it's
you,
like
sir?
barely. It's like I'm gonna shave it this weekend, so I don't know that I'm actually smoother than you right now. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Are you ready to see some sun?
Oh, so much. I'm trying not to gloat about it because the whole family's not coming with me.
Same.
But it's that place where you're both excited that you're going to be out of this hellscape and also just trying to temper that in front of everybody.
Yeah.
There's also so much to do between now and then.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. My heart is literally like, I was looking at my heart rate earlier today, and my heart rate is usually 55 to 59.
Yeah.
It has been pinned at 99 all day. There's just so much going on. It's insane. But it's good times. Good times.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. We're getting there. It's gonna be a week. But I think today's show, we're focusing on how to prep for that week, right?
Yeah, buddy. It's coming.
know.
And let me just say, Blake has done some stellar work already in the last
you know what,
8 months or so. But I think this might be my favorite one.
If there's an award for slide in a live show, we should. This is our nomination right here.
Yeah.
This one's
so funny and silly. Yeah.
Buddy.
I loved it.
Well done, Blake. Well done. Well, yes, we're going to talk about ComicsPRO, the biggest event on the comics industry's calendar. I'm going to say it's bigger than San Diego for those of us who do this, because we know we're going to get more done during our week in Glendale next week than we will in San Diego, than we will at New York Comic Con. It is just wall to wall, getting to see your friends, but also new business. It is incredible. Yeah,
man. Last year was hallways the meeting. Like that's all I did all week was just like, now okay, yeah.
Next
here, okay, yeah. Oh,
just go around this corner.
No, I got you. I got you. 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And the amount of secrets that I had and that I wasn't allowed to tell anyone, and yet people kept on telling me their like, I don't know, was I just safe space last year? What was going on? But I was having a hard time keeping track of whose secrets I could tell and who I couldn't. So I just stopped talking at one point. I'm not talking anymore.
Can I tell you one of the things that I'm most excited for this year? I mean, I have a lot to be excited for. We're talking about. We have some presentations that I'm really excited to give. Always good to see people that I miss over the year. But I got to tell you, my favorite thing about this year is going to be seeing Blake Morgan doing this for the first time. It is.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Just watching his eyes as he is scrambling. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. But those of you who don't know, most of the Prana team is going to be at ComicsPRO this year. Many of the people that were in our pre-show banter. Joe Keating will be there. Myself, obviously. Oh man, why am I going complete? Gabe Yoakum is going to be there. Blake will be there working for The Experience, who is producing all of the video stuff that's going on. So I mean, most of the team's going to be there. Megan, I'm so sorry, is not going to make it. Steph Girk is not allowed to leave Canada apparently because of those allegations that happened. We don't talk about those.
We're only allowed to leave under like direct American supervision, and you have to have a sponsor. And like,
it's
she
true.
just couldn't get one this time.
She keeps asking, and I keep saying no. Because I know what it means. What's in this rundown? What else are we looking at? I don't have control over any buttons anymore.
That is
Everybody
a great question, and I didn't push any buttons. So we got our hard-hitting headlines. Our feature is going to be on ComicsPRO for Dummies, and then we are going to have a special panel on Comics Are for the People, and then we'll jump into the Prana bestseller list. And of course, Steph is going to do her Comics MBA podcasting, a 5-step program.
Right on. Steph is really the reason that we have a podcast, the Comic Industry Insiders, which is what this show came out of. So in many ways, she really did, push us towards this path. And then we immediately grew out of her abilities. And so now, no, I'm kidding.
That is
I love her to death.
slanderous.
I know, but she's not on the screen, so I can say whatever I want. It's really wonderful, and she can't
Last
seem to
week's-
figure out her camera, so that's going to be fun too.
Last week's episode with Hank Canlett?
Canals, yeah, Hank Canals,
yeah, was spectacular. It was so good, and it was like half secret history of Image Comics / DC Comics.
Yep.
Half like secret history of comics retail. It was just so good. I loved it. It was such a good episode. Yeah, it was spectacular.
He was on my short list of people I wanted to interview when I started the whole thing. And it's nice to finally check that one off. He's such an incredible career, and such a forward-thinking brain for our industry too. All go see it. In fact, somebody drop the link into the comments, because I think you should all go watch that. It was a good one. All right.
Oh man, I just realized that we have a headline that I didn't throw in because
Oh, no.
I didn't actually see it, but it's actually there was a big success in the comics industry last week, and we'll talk about that when we get through these. But first, let's talk about comicpreviews.com. So if you go to comicpreviews.com right now, it is constantly evolving. Next week is our official kind of coming out party. Oh man, I was looking for it. We also have a comics preview, the zine, which I will dig up around here before the end of the show, which we'll be handing out to people. If you go to our Managed Comics booth on Hoover right now, you can sign up and we will make sure that you get one. I'm going to have them at the front desk and stuff as well. So, but yeah, it's a little fun. We've got the top 25, I think, most subscribed to titles from 2025 in there, so it'll be the first time people get to see that. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So check it out, and yeah, that's us.
Fantastic. All right, let's get into some headlines.
Look at this.
That's a good one. I don't know.
Yeah, it's solid, just solid.
Is this some AI slop? Did you drop AI slop into here, Blake?
This is all photos. I can see photoshopping.
Okay, great.
My goodness, DC. More printings.
So what was the story here? They did all of these printings, right? And they're just dropping them? How does this work?
So on Friday at about 4:42 p.m., I got notification from a couple people that DC had sent out an email that said that they were making like 1 through 14, I believe, of Absolute Batman, 1 through like 11 of Absolute Wonder Woman, and then a bunch of like Absolute Superman, Absolute Martian Manhunter, new printings for all of them. Which, that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
But they didn't put it on FOC. They didn't give it an initial order number. Everybody's data kind of just vomited on it. And I don't know if you know about the way news works, but if you want to bury a story, you drop it at 4:00 on a Friday. And this seemed like the worst marketing decision I've ever seen, combined with the fact that we had to scramble to make our systems work with this stuff. And admittedly, publishers don't have to work with our systems. That's fine. But if you don't, you're giving up, for me, if you don't support Managed Comics, you're giving up 400 stores. That's on you. That's not on me. I'm happy to work with you. Give me a little warning. So we scrambled and made a solution that I didn't love. We basically forced an FOC for today for it so that we could at least get some pre-order, orders in there. And then we kind of forced a fake thing last night. I'm hoping nobody does this again, but I'm super stoked about this because I bought a crap load for my own store. I know that I will sell out of them. I keep selling out of printings of this thing. I can't remember. Transformers is the only other thing that has gone to 10 printings like this recently. The Batman is now, Absolute Batman is at the 11th printing of number 1.
I know.
And every time we get them in, we sell them out. I bought 20 copies of the 10th printing thinking, oh, we'll have these for 2 months. By Thursday, we were sold out.
Fascinating.
I don't know where the ceiling is. I can't find it.
There isn't one yet. We haven't gotten there yet. I think that's just it. We've entered a phase where we have to recognize the fact that we don't know how big our marketplace actually is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We have not yet found that ceiling. You're right. I mean, I think there's a job. Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I'm curious to know from DC how this happened. My guess is that this was one of those things that was being worked on, and they finally realized they had to drop it, in order to get it out there. They're on the same sort of schedule that we are, and we're going to run out of time. They're going to run out of time. I'd be my guess.
There's no
maybe it's
maliciousness,
you remember
but they
in the West Wing they talked about take out the trash day, which is like the last drop of Friday because nobody carries it over the weekend. But I don't know.
I guess like between Django and I, we represent like 1/5 of the market. Like, you might want to let us know. You might want to just, because we're here to help you, right? We're here to sell more comics. That's what we want.
You know, what'd be good for this would be like a service where all these listings.
Moving on, Adam,
can be broadcast out. One, Bowker does this for Book Market. All right, let's move on.
CLBDF has got some censorship issues that they're talking about here. You want to talk about this one, Adam?
A lot of what we're going to be talking about today is going to be. I hate to do this laughing transitioning, but this is a very serious subject. Before we do this, can we just take a beat? Jamie Coville, sharp-eyed Jamie Coville, realized that we had not talked about this yet. So if you are watching this and you have any interest in getting a Comics the Magazine #0, like that, I don't know, 20 people in my inbox asking if they should, if they can have one, you could get one of these. You could also get a full set of Comic Industry Insiders trading cards. Not without that Post-it note on them. Right there, look at those. You could have a full set of those. All you got to do is push #insiders into the chat, and we can go ahead and get those out to you. Steph, do you not have any of those? We'll get you some. All right. All right.
Before I forget, I'm going to remind Megan to get me a pile of them so that if we have Canadian winners, I can just ship them from up here and save you guys a bundle of cash in shipping. Because I'm shipping stuff to the United States right now, and okay, it's fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Right. Let's stop laughing and talk about censorship.
Okay, let's start. This is a very serious subject. So Jeff Trexler of the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund was part of the presentation of the ComicsPRO virtual meeting that they did. I think it was last week. That's right. And he talked about how things are actually much more serious now than they've ever been. Some of the issues that are happening with that Grendel that was given away at Free Comic Book Day are just ratcheting up some of the fears that we have about censorship and how it will affect the local comic shops, and how we're all having to be a bit more vigilant about taking care of making sure that we are not distributing something that's going to get us in trouble. And because right this second, even though you have First Amendment protections, that may not be enough. So I will say there's a really great rundown of this on the ICV2 link. I think we should drop that into here. Everybody should please check this out, especially if you are a comics retailer. Now is the time to pay attention to this, especially if you're in a more conservative area. This is one of those things that could really set you back, even if at the end of the day, you're completely exonerated. It won't matter if it's ruined your business, So thank goodness. And now be a good time to contribute to the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. The CBLDF is a very worthy charity that has been around, well, for almost as long as I have in this industry. And that's saying a lot. So we need them to being really healthy and doing the work that they do. So please do contribute any chance you get.
Yeah, super necessary organization. So
boy, oh boy,
please help them survive.
What a weird future we landed in.
Yeah. How about Distillery pressing pause?
How about this slide? I know this is another one serious one, but this is a really good slide.
Good, right?
Well done. We're okay. Yeah, our friends at Distillery, Chip and David, made the announcement that they are going to have to press pause on the Distillery publishing side. This is something that we're it's not surprising. I would say that this, because I know that they've gone through some struggles. What with they originally were at Diamond, and then they moved over to Lunar, and then they had to leave Lunar to go back to Diamond, and then when
Diamond, yeah.
Diamond went down, they had to go to PRH. All this is
Yeah.
for distribution. And I know that there was a ton of money and a ton of inventory that was stuck at Diamond. It's surprising to me that we've not seen more of these. But I do think it's also a larger question right now. If you want to, with the next slide,
Sure.
Which is the IDW story.
Yeah.
So IDW announced this week. By the way, I still don't like this logo, guys. If you're there, I don't know. This logo is still not doing it for me. I don't know.
It's especially compared to the old logo. Like, I hate to be the guy that says, you know, the old one was better, but the old one was better.
The old one was better.
This still looks like a W to me, or a sports team logo.
This is like
one
id.
Of those screams. Yeah.
Looks like id to me. Like you're just screaming id. Anyway, whatever. They announced once again they have their quarterly reporting that they have to do for their stockholders, and they announced that they're not, they're down again. They're not doing really well, and their plan is to own more IP. Why is this connected to the distillery thing? There's an interesting problem in running these businesses where if you are doing creator-owned projects, you don't actually own the thing that you're investing in. Which means that you are not really focused on its promotion, right? You have no reason to invest in it growing that brand except for that initial getting it out into the world so that you can participate, in the exploitation of that IP, as it were.
Right.
So I think it's really interesting that we see IDW realizing this and moving back to owning and developing IP and paying out those creators. They actually really talked about paying them out royalties and such in the call. But I really think it's a fascinating turn that we're going to start seeing, especially since creator-owned books have not really seen the ratchet that all of the sort of corporate IP books are seeing right now as far as sales go. So I don't know. I think these are two, to my mind, these two stories are linked. It's a tough time to do creator-owned books. Really.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of people, when you spend time swimming in the retailer communities, you see a lot of people accusing distillery of just having bad format. They say that the magazine format just wouldn't work for them and they would have sold 5-10 times as much. I don't know if that's true. I mean, Ignition went comic sized, and
I mean, they've done okay, but I think they're probably comparable. The sales numbers I see are pretty comparable with those two sides.
Exactly. So I don't know if the format, like, I actually think the format made it special. It was cool. Like, they were neat. So I hope they kind of kick out of this, because we still got a final issue of White House Robot Romance that we need. There's a bunch of stuff that is kind of stuck in limbo right now, and that really sucks. So, and I like those guys. I think they've got their heart in the right place.
You think so?
Yeah. So we will see.
We will see. This is going to be, this story and many like it are going to be progressing as we go along, which is great because we have a show where we can talk about these things.
For sure. Okay, before we get to this, I want to. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. Don't do that, Brian. What are you doing?
What's happening right now?
So last week, a new series from Image came out called Dork. D''ORC. It's written by.
Wouldn't that be Dork?
Yeah, it is. I think it's Dork.
Oh, okay.
It's written by the one of the creators of I Hate Fairyland. Really fun. It's kind of cartoony looking. Sold out immediately. I went fairly heavy on it for me, and we sold out by like Wednesday afternoon. So it is hitting like $40 on the secondary market already. Like, it's crazy how crazy it went off. So it just we're always, there we go. We're always talking about kind of that next big thing and how these things surprise us. And this is just one to keep an eye on. The second printing will be out in 3 weeks. I went pretty hard on that too. It's a fun book too. Like, it is worth the hype. So something to keep an eye on.
We're going to talk about bestsellers here soon, but I can tell you that it came in number 16 and was awesome. The first non-DC or Marvel to enter the list this week. And I will say that it at 9.63 copies per store reporting, it kind of tied pretty close to Avengers, Wolverine, the DCX AEW. What is that? I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, it's like a wrestling plus comic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought X-Men, whatever. Godzilla, Infinity Roar. Those all in the same sort of like grouping. So it did remarkably well for the stores that we're seeing. So yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
very cool.
Thanks for bringing this up. That's good.
Yeah.
That's exactly the kind of stuff we're looking for.
Well, yeah, I love when you see something like that just pops off and you're like, I don't even know where this came from. You know, like I kind of had an idea it would do fairly well, but I didn't. I kind of expected I'd have this for a month.
Yeah.
And we had it gone by Wednesday.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Well, let's talk about ComicsPRO's annual general meeting, which is in Glendale, California for the second year in a row.
In 1 week. I will be traveling in 1 week. Right.
I'll be in the air. I'll be landing in about an hour in 1 week.
It should be noted that this show,
crazy things.
We will have a show next week. We just will not be live. We're going to pre-record. I think it's going to be a really interesting show. I'm looking forward to putting it together for you. I don't necessarily want to commit to what it is in case we have to change at the last minute, but there you go.
We're recording it on Family Day in Canada, so that should be fun. I'm just going to tell my family I'm not familying that day.
Sorry, I don't really know what that means.
And familying.
We don't celebrate families here.
Vacations in Canada. We have a holiday in August that they just gave up on and called it Civic Holiday. It's fine.
So Brian, what is the plan? Manage Comics and your other effort. Comic previews. What is the plan? What is your plan for ComicsPRO this year?
Yeah, so we've got exhibit space. In the last 3 years, I've done the retailer roundtables, but I think I was good after last year. I loved it. It was amazing. So the retailer roundtables are an opportunity to basically perfect your pitch.
Yeah.
Against 300 people. It's amazing. But at this point, I got more value out of the hallway meetings last year than I did out of that. So yeah, it's so much fun. Like we'll be seeing 300 retailers. You find out stuff that you don't find out anywhere else. So there'll be news stories breaking. I know that some of these publishers are holding stuff off. Last year we got the announcement of the DC Marvel team up thing at ComicsPRO. Yeah, it's super, super exciting. And for me, it's like all the meetings that happen outside of the sessions are just as important as the things that happen in it. So I'm planning Wednesday night just a meetup at my suite next door. I know we're doing a thing at Comics Industry Insiders on Wednesday night at 8, I think, just in the hotel bar, if that's right.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
I'm going to shout out to Tommy Donovan on that one, just because he posted that we needed to do something, and I said, "Congratulations, you're organizing it," and so he did. So
okay, because I was going to ask you how I got involved in that, but I'm glad to know. I'm glad. Okay, great. So it's as much of a surprise to you as it is to me. It's going to be fun.
It was going to be fun. Yeah, thank you, Tommy. Yeah, I appreciate you, buddy.
We'll drag some special guest stars. Joe, guess what? You're coming to the bar at 8 p.m. So yeah, and then on top of that, I'm planning something fun for probably Friday morning. So we'll see how all that goes. But yeah, and then I'm gonna meet with people. I'm meeting Andrea. We're gonna hang out and talk manage comics, and
that's wonderful.
I'm gonna show a bunch of people some really cool stuff we're working on that you've seen screen grabs of. Wait until you see it live. I'm so excited.
I can tell you we still need to put together a firm plan, which is part of why. Yes, Tommy, I told you to do it, and then I told you to cancel it, and now we're just we have something.
We're doing it.
I was hoping to have it all ready to go by today, but we have a number of things that I can talk about. We'll have issue 1 of Comics the Magazine available for everybody who shows up at ComicsPRO. We're going to have we're going to have, what else are we going to have? Gosh, we're going to have a suite we're going to be recording from, including doing the shorts that like we did at Baltimore and New York Comic Con this last year. So for those of you who want to come in and ask the 3 questions, we're going to have that. You'll be able to come find us, and we can do quick interviews. I'm hoping to do some long form interviews too while we're there. There are going to be a few people there that I don't often have access to. As Prana, I am giving the first presentation of the show. So I think that's Thursday morning. I will be the number 1 on the call sheet. Thank you. That's right. Everybody else, you're just following me. That's all. And I apologize for how I'm going to light that piano on fire, and you have to figure out how to deal with it. We're going to have the presentation will be at the booth. For Recca, we are going to have a 20-minute plus presentation, and they will be doing roundtables, and they will also have a booth. We're going to be presenting all of our Prana clients, including our friends at SourcePoint who are in the chat. Hey, Dirk. We're going to be busy. It's going to be a busy week. My goal is to try and put together something like what you have, where we have kind of a meet and greet at some point in the suite, or possibly at the bar. I don't know yet. I think I'm kind of done with the big boozy parties. I think it's just not my jam anymore.
We can just drink like water. You do know we can just drink water. We can let everyone else drink alcohol. We can.
I don't know about that. I don't know. This is some sort of Canadian bullshit going on here.
I'm just saying.
Just
saying. If we want, we can just have water.
So we have a lot to prepare for, but a lot going on next week. ComicsPRO is going to be quite the thing. We've got some really good advice in the panel that was here, and I'm going to bring up somebody else real quick to give us a bit more. But I will say that my recommendations are what the people were saying in the chat. Don't go into this. If you're coming into ComicsPRO the first time, don't come with an agenda. That's my biggest advice, right? Allow the experience to be what it is. Because as long as I've been doing this, the experience always surprises me. There's always going to be some new change, some new player, something that I didn't see happening before I got there. And if I had just said, here's my schedule, I'm going to stick to this, and I'm hitting these parameters, and I'm going to check all these boxes, I never would have gotten any of that. So show up, be there, enjoy what you see when you arrive, because it is just like what we try to produce here every week is just a small sliver of what it's like at ComicsPRO. It's just everybody there is kind of rowing in the same direction of trying to grow our industry and grow our businesses inside of this industry. So cannot recommend it enough. Let's actually bring a little bit early, Shannon. I'm about to say your name. She is on the board of directors for ComicsPRO. She also is running all of the educational programming this year at ComicsPRO, including apparently putting you on a couple panels. She runs Bat City Comics out in Florida, where it's entirely much warmer than it is here. Shannon Live. I just hit the button and she didn't come forward. Somebody tell me what I'm doing wrong here. There we go. Hello. Hey. So you, like I said, when I first started coming to this meeting, I was a member, and then started coming as publisher. I've missed one, and that was, I think, 2 years ago, something like that. It was like my last year, whatever. It doesn't matter.
It was the second Pittsburgh year.
Yeah.
That right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you, are compared to me, basically you're still starting, but you basically help running the thing now. What is we talked about advice, but what is going to make this year special? What's different about this year's meeting?
Hey, before we get there, I just want to wind the clock back a little bit. Yeah. I'll go back 3 years ago. 3 years ago, Shannon, you won one of the scholarships to go to ComicsPRO, right?
I did in 2022. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first Pittsburgh year?
2023,
right? Yeah. So that was the first time I met you. Mm-hmm. And you were there just kind of you were the proverbial deer in the headlights. Like your eyes, I've never seen eyes so wide as they were the entire time, because you were around your people for the first time in that large of a grouping, and it was all just comics and like retail, and I could just tell you were a sponge, just soaking it all up. You had the best time, right?
Absolute best time.
So fast forward 2 years and you're like the vice president of the organization. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to, you know, for a moment, just breathe that in, the fact that that is absolutely astounding from somebody who like got a scholarship, which like there's a whole story to talk about that scholarship, which I think is spectacular. And Django has supported that thing this year, and I'm so jealous that he did it before I could. And then all the way to 2 years later, vice president. Like, let's talk about that.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, when I went to ComicsPRO for the first time in person, I had already been in the industry for a long time. I had already, like, we had our store for a few years at that point. Like, we opened our store in the end of 2018, and so I just hadn't had a chance, because by the time I found out about ComicsPRO, we were in the virtual age of the times. So it was, I got to do the online version, and I was like, I just really want to go to this in-person thing. And I'm so thankful to Bink for helping, because we had just moved our store across the country. So there was no way that I could afford to get to that conference at that time, after moving our entire lives across the country. And so it was such an awesome experience. I always tell people, like, the idea that, like, just talk to anybody. You know, I went to a dinner while I was there, that one of the first nights, and I was like, I'm just going to eat in the hotel, restaurant, because I don't know anybody. And I walked in and I ordered like a table for one. Like, I asked for a table for one. And at the time, Dan Query was with Vault. And the Vault guys were just sitting right there in the first table. And I was like, table for one. And Dan just stands up and goes, no, she's at our table. And I was like, okay, like, and we had just met the day before because he liked my outfit. And so it's such a crazy thing, like, where it was like, I'm just going to be here, and everybody just pulls you in. And the idea of going from that to vice president is an insane experience. But it all started, honestly, because at San Diego Comic-Con, the next year, no lies, that year, 2023, that same year, Katie Pride was on the dais with Marco, and Marco was like, at ComicsPRO, it's all volunteer run. We really need help with anything. If you have an idea, come up and talk to us. And Katie just points into the audience and was like, you. And I was like, oh, I guess they mean me. And so I go up to the front and I was like, I'm here to volunteer. I have this great idea for revamping the education and mentorship thing, that we can build out an entire program around what a trade organization usually provides, like what ABA kind of provides and stuff like that. And Marco goes, okay, send us an email with your idea. And I think that is the last time Marco will ever tell anybody strange that he doesn't know to send an email, because I sent him a document outlining. I was like, here's just an outline of what I'm thinking. And it was a 6 doc. And Marco was like, we'll get back to you. And, here we are. So.
That's amazing. That was my first ComicsPRO 2, 2023. So we were both first timers that year.
Yeah.
Wow, that's excellent. Well, you've been at this long enough, and I'm sure you are going to have this same experience now, Shannon, is that you recognize the person who's going to come in and start doing the work. Once you've seen them, like once you've seen them show up, you know them on site when they show up again. And you were obviously that one of those. That was just going to be, immediately we're all dependent on you. So, so excellent. Well, welcome aboard, making it aboard. So tell us, why is this year going to be different than all of your vast experience coming to the ComicsPRO annual meeting? That was a joke about you all not being here.
Well, it is. It's going to be different because, one, with it being in LA again, we are seeing so many people coming, so many people bringing talent, so many people bringing the big announcements. I mean, like Brian said, last year we got the Marvel DC crossover announcement coming out of it. This year we are maxing out space and time in all capacities to just load it with things. There's Wednesday night, there's a special creator exhibit hall which is just going to be like a ton of creators. There's announcements coming soon, so you can know what to pack if you want to bring stuff. We have an opening night reception that night from IDW and Oni Press that is going to be insane. There's a 5-year anniversary party for the Massive Verse at Revenge of on Saturday night, and the fact that Radiant Black is 5 years old is still blowing my mind alone. But we have events like that. We've got the Wheel of Comics party is coming back from all those awesome creators. We've got Robert Kirkman as keynote. We have more educational programming than we've ever had. We even have a publisher track this year, which Adam and Brian are a part of. We're very excited. They're going to teach a class for publishers and creators, but like to be able to even offer classes for publishers is such a cool thing. I'm so glad we're expanding that to give everybody a chance to learn something. And literally we have more minutes of presentations from publishers and vendors this year than we've ever had before. Like we were crunching it in and still keeping breaks, which is a new thing. We are giving you breaks to go to the bathroom. It's a new and exciting. That might be the most exciting part of the whole year.
Breaks are for the weak.
Exactly. Breaks are for closers. Okay. Well, excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be it's going to be a wild one, and I cannot wait for it. One other thing I do want to note, and we should make sure if somebody wants to go in our team, go find that link. If you have product or collectibles or service or something else that you can contribute to the annual auction that happens at the ComicsPRO annual meeting, now is the time to fill out that survey. And I'm saying that to myself because I haven't yet done it.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to announce something right here. I'm going to volunteer I will donate a full Shopify website install by me.
Look at that.
To the auction.
Yeah. Right on.
And I've built a couple big ones. I don't know if you've heard of a company called Ignition. I built their Shopify store this year. So yeah, you'll.
Excellent. Well, that link is in the chat right this second. I'm not committing to anything right now because all of my stuff I have to talk to other people about. Yeah, you need to go sign up for this. All proceeds are going to Bink this year. Is that right?
Yeah, proceeds go to Bink to help them continue to support comic stores and booksellers across the nation. So, and they are phenomenal. If you don't know Bink, they do so much to help the booksellers everywhere, and it's such a good organization.
My favorite thing about the last 2 years especially is there's a point in the auction where you see Judy just openly weep. Like she sees the number and she's just like, holy crap. Like it really is a pretty awesome thing. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate and looking forward to this. Let's move on to the next segment. We're going to keep Shannon in for this. I think we have a slide for it. In fact,
yeah,
comics are for the people. You goddamn right. So
tell us what brought this about, because I love it. It's my favorite.
Okay. So here's the thing. I love ICV2. I think the world of Milton Greep. I think he's a fantastic force of good in our industry. I do think.
Do you have his rate card? Because he'll give you his rate card if you just talk. That's the first thing he'll say. Hey, do you have the rate card right now?
It is difficult to leave any conversation with Milton without having a rate card. But now that I have a magazine that I'm selling ads to, I don't blame him. I'm going to have mine handy at all times. Gabe, we got to print those out. Okay. Anyway, so Milton Greep, ICV2, gave a presentation at the ComicsPRO meeting that happened last week, and in it he talked about some demographic data that seemed a little, I don't know, it seemed a little bit inaccurate to me, to my ear. And again, I wasn't in that room, but I did hear about it later, and saw in the chat from several people that we're going to have on the panel today. So I wanted to bring a few folks in, comics retailers specifically, to talk about who is coming in. So this Dogman generation, this Raina Telgemeier, Bone generation that grew up reading comics are now coming in for the Absolute Universe from DC, from the Ultimate Universe from Marvel. They're coming in for things like Dork, and they're coming in in droves. We've seen 20 to 30% increases across the board for direct market. So we wanted to give an opportunity for this, but let's bring a couple folks to the panel. She is one of the most influential retailers, I will say, that we have ever had on the show. Big part of the experience. Runs Space Cadets Collections. I think I got that right.
This is the best name.
She goes by Miss Jen. How are you? Welcome back to the show.
Doing
Jen.
so good. I'm representing the Recca.
Love it. I got my my Wild West Hackin' Fest hoodie, which when it's this cold is my absolute favorite garment. It's incredible. That the Recca hoodie is just whenever it's, you're in Texas and the air conditioning is on too high.
That's exactly right. Accurate.
This one I can actually go out and take the dog out in the snow. Someone who's nowhere near snow. Ms. Andrea Gilmore, Books with Pictures. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course, thank you.
That you're running the shop while we're talking.
I am, yes, yeah.
All right. So I attempted to get press time a transcript of what was said. I wasn't able to, but I was able to pull up the ICV2 rundown of the conversation that Milton presented. Now, I do want to note that in many ways, we work really hard with Django and with Brian to give good context for all of the data that we talk about on the show. And so very often I find myself not making statements that seem obvious because they are not, they can't back them up with data. In this particular instance, though, when I heard about it, I went in to look, and I'm just going to read from the write-up in the site. In response to a question, Greep noted that there are more female customers going to comic shops than ever at any point in the past, a very positive trend, but that retailers have indicated that the absolute Batman surge specifically is male skewing. Here's my problem with this, and tell me if I'm wrong. One, that's not what I see when I go into the comic shops personally. And two, when I hear the people that I know talk about comics, I'm just as likely to hear about Absolute Wonder Woman as anything. And it's almost never dudes telling me about Absolute Wonder Woman and how it made them cry. So my question is, what are we seeing right now demographically in this surge? And can you put any sort of numbers around it? Because, all of these, I hear this, it just really depends on who you're talking to, right? Shannon, you want to go take this on, or you want to jump in?
Yeah, I do, because I know I told you I have to go teach a class. So
yeah.
I'm going to jump in really fast. But for me, subscribers in general, almost half of my subscribers at my comic book store are women or non-binary identifying in the first place. And that definitely extends to the Absolute line in an insane amount. Your question your comments about the younger generation coming in, the kids who grew up with Dogman, we're seeing that 16 to 27-year-old market is really huge for us right now. And we are seeing that there is not that's an equal number of who's coming in from that demographic. We're seeing people who identify in every gender that are coming in and saying this, I'm excited to jump into comics. I'm so happy to try something new. And they don't just try the absolutes, they try everything, which is what I love about it. But yeah, our actual results and sales totals are showing us the complete opposite, where we're seeing you can look around the store at any given moment, and it's 8 or 9 women in the store and maybe one man in the store at the time, and our staff is me and Katie in there, so there's 2 of us, and then there's 8 women, and it's great to see how much of them, and they're having these detailed conversations about comics all the way to the past, all the way to what's happening right now. So I definitely think that we're not seeing that. We have even with our events, like we do a zine night, we do a creator night, we have a ladies and non-binary nerd night. Our ladies and non-binary nerd night is our biggest event that we have monthly. Every month that thing hits anywhere between 25 and 35 people at it. And when it's got 9 to 10, we're like, oh, it's a slow week. Nobody showed up this month for the event, but it is our most popular event. And they're all sitting there talking about the comics they read. Some of them are sitting there reading comics during it. And so, definitely a difference for us on what we're seeing versus those numbers.
Andrea, you are in I will say I'm coming back around to Jen, because I feel like you're probably in the most conservative area of the world than we have here. And so if we're making this about the different regionalities, Andrea, I think yours would be an interesting viewpoint. Talk about where your shop is, and specifically like what kind of clientele are you seeing demographically?
Yeah, so we are in Eugene, Oregon, which is about 2 hours south of Portland. It is where the University of Oregon is located. So it's one of the big towns in Oregon. Probably about, a third of the size. Our metro area is about a third of the size of Portland. But, pretty robust, as many like college town areas are. One of the things that we do experience, and I think a lot of college towns experience this, is that it's hard to get students off campus. This is not some towns, the campus is really integrated into the town. There's definitely a campus area. And even though we're pretty close, maybe a 15-minute walk, sometimes it can be hard to get people to leave campus. One of the things we've really been seeing is a huge increase of younger people coming in for the absolute titles and then staying on. So, most of our kind of Wednesday warriors are people who've been in comics for a while. It's not exclusively, but I think the majority of folks who, came in right away and had a sub list, or people who are sort of familiar with they've been subbing to comics for a while. And it feels like nothing we could do as a shop, including going to campus, including doing events with departments, was able to bring students here as much as, frankly, people wanting to talk about the absolute titles. Like Shannon was saying, our gender thing is quite different than what was being described, particularly for the absolute titles and other DC titles. We don't keep specific demographic data like that. So, I was looking at my subs and I know some of the people. And so I'm like going through and we definitely don't keep demographics for people who just kind of pick stuff up off the wall. And we tend to be a pretty conservative wall order store. So, if it's something that starts to drop off, we cut it pretty quick, and we do a lot of education around, hey, pick up, get a sub, you'll get it. It's no problem. Brian was saying earlier, like, I don't know what the limit is. I don't know where the edge is for the absolute titles. Just when I think we've maybe found it, the next week another title comes out and we run out by the end of Wednesday. And
what a time.
What a time. I don't mind it. I certainly don't mind it. And so, for those people who pick it up off the wall, we really don't have the demographic data for, right?
Yeah.
Even sort of anecdotally. But I will say in general, I think our DC readership tends to skew more non-male than female, or than a Marvel right now. Particularly a lot of the sort of Bat Family fans are really tends to be a lot of young women. But so that's some of what we're seeing. We are also, a store that really focuses and caters on being a store that sort of feels welcome and advertises to people who might not always feel comfortable in comic shops,
Sure.
or in nerd spaces in general. So obviously that does mean that our clientele is has always been pretty diverse. But at the same time, like, there aren't as many comic shops here in Eugene as there are in Portland. So
sure.
We get a lot of people who, you would consider sort of the stereotypical comic shop folks too. So it's not like we only see, we see the wide range, but definitely the absolute titles is like, no, that is bringing in a crowd that we have not been able to capitalize on.
As you mentioned, you're in the Pacific Northwest, or as we called it in the early chat, Lower Canada. Let's go to the other side of our country, the bottom edge. One of my favorite places to be, because I grew up there. Although, I mean, come on, Houston might be the hardest place in Texas to live, but so good for you for doing it, Jen. Tell us, in your shop, what did the demographics look like in this day and age?
It's been very interesting. The change happened way back in the 90s for me. I don't know. This is something that like is impossible to really know. Do I have so many female and non-binary customers because I am female and I make people feel more comfortable? That would be some kind of like number crunching thing that you would have to find a bunch of stores in all kinds of parts of the country and do a dissertation on, which kind of sounds awesome. And I want to do that now, but I can't answer the question about it. Right. Yeah. It's like, is it the people in the store that make the statistic different? Is the statistics that Milton got, are they from male-led stores? And so males feel more comfortable there. I don't know. I don't know what the answer to any of that is, but I will tell you that I'm definitely seeing pretty general mix for all of our customers coming in. And I tried to make it very clear at the very front of my store. Like our front mat says Sanctuary for Wayward Geeks. So people know, come here. And then our entrance is full of kids' books. So it makes people feel comfortable that aren't really comic book people. It looks more like bookstore model at the very front of the store. And I basically tell parents when they bring their kids in, your kids can read every single book in the kids section. Don't tell them not to touch things there. It's totally fine with me. Cop a squat and play chess for 5 hours. Sounds good to me. And then I tell them kind of like on the download, I'm like, you might not have known this, but I have a secret agenda. It's to get your kids to read. And I think that translates to the whole store. I think people just know. I've got it laid out so that we have all of our recommended reading is all face out, and it's a ton of it. And outside of absolute titles, we have a ton of people that are on all the Ghost Machine titles or all of the Energon Universe titles. There are still people big into the Ultimate Run. And this is a weird trend. I don't know if you've seen this, Audra, but lots of graphic novels that what I call spicy books.
Oh yeah,
so, Merca and the like. Yep. Really, once they read one of those, if you hand them Unnatural, then they're like, I want everything that this person does. And so I think that's because we see that a lot in the data that they were talking about, that romance manga was really big. I think that people that are like being drawn into the rest of the store for graphic novels are just trying to find the comic book version of those things. So we stock those pretty heavily too.
Yeah, I think Kristen has talked about it a bit, not as much I think this year as in previous presentations, but it's really hard to underestimate the influence of Book Talk, which is a primarily female and queer led, at least in my experience, kind of social media phenomenon. And there's a store 2 or 3 blocks from us that specializes in romantasy and does great, and they're great, and we work together. In fact, when we found out that there was a Fourth Wing graphic novel announced, we were like, okay, we got to do some sort of like joint party. It's going to be a great time. But that also is like a movement that is driven not just by, mostly people who are, like I said, identify as female or non-binary or queer, but also like a really community-oriented movement. So a lot of people who want to talk to each other and recommend books to each other and read the same books together. So there's a lot of word of mouth pull. And yeah, I think our spicy section does better than our like regular romance section or even our shoujo manga section. It's like a lot of people just go straight over there.
I love that. I love that.
And yeah, start
we
with the
are.
manga a lot of times, and then end up finding Sunstone or some of the other kinds of books along those lines as well, and going in.
Jen, you brought up something, and Felicity in the chat as well. So there was small sample size, about 30 stores. And this is something I wanted to get into a little bit. We're going to go into the bestseller segment. You guys are both welcome to stick around for that, because you will have good information about what's selling in the shops. But this is something that we really focused on in trying to build this bestseller data. Is that the part of the problem that ICV2 has is they're getting their data from Comic Hub, and Comic Hub has a lower user base than, of the big three that are POS systems. I think they're maybe tied for second, if not they're in third. And one of the problems that we run into is only say 10 to 20, sometimes maybe 40% of the stores that are using those systems are using it the way it's designed. So unless they're all using it the way it's designed, it's hard to get really good data out of it. So one of the challenges I think that we had, and part of I think what pinged me on this was that sort of statement, you just don't have enough data to really make that sort of conversation accurate. And I did check in before we came live. I did check in with some people that I knew would have that data if it was available, and they all said no. Nobody's doing demographic research right now on the readership of comics. Nobody is. It's coming. You'll start to see it, I think, in some of the big twos books when you start seeing those QR codes show up. That's really about them trying to understand who the demographics are. So, but yeah, it is coming. Yes, as Django points out, comic stores are chaos. we're all trying to figure this out. So yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming in and talking about this. If you want to stick around, Brian, did I lose you? You're still here around. You want to get you
I'm
back
here.
in?
I just thought there was enough testosterone with you. I didn't need to add to it.
But that's true in every room I walk in. No,
now there's just too much. I can't. No.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys want to stick around and talk about some bestsellers for the week?
Sure, yeah.
Let's do it. Awesome.
Oh, Blake took back over. All right.
Look at this.
Go, Blake.
Let's go, Blake. The Prana bestseller list. This is something we've been putting together with Managed Comics and Comic Shop Assistant. And we're growing this cohort to well past what we're getting for what unfortunately that Milton's getting from Comic Hub. And continues to grow. I think that our cohort, you want to go to the next slide, is I think we're in the neighborhood of 500 plus stores. Take that, the sample size is somewhere in there. I will say the data we're going to be looking at is getting really solid data from at least 100 and probably more. 60,000 consumers. Their shopping is represented by some of these numbers, and we are taking all of this data from these two systems and anonymizing it in ways so that we can talk about it realistically, but nobody can guess whose stores look like what, right, based on this data. So let's get into the horse race, shall we? Last week, all DC. Did you guys see the same? We're seeing 45.5% was DC Comics last week. Does that track for y'all?
Yeah. Hugely. 2 years ago, Marvel was pipping DC in our store in general.
Yeah.
Last year, DC took a 14-point raise. Over and ended up being like 12 points over Marvel in the course of last year, just because of the absolutes. A lot of the absolute people are on DCKO, which is a real good time. Yeah. And we've been seeing some fall off with the ultimate stuff, even with the end game. So yeah, that absolutely tracks for us.
I would love to. I should have brought the data with me to tell you guys how many copies of just graphic novel absolute sold this last week. It might blow your minds.
Yeah, Absolute Batman Volume 2 came out last week. Then you had Absolute Green Lantern, Absolute Martian Manhunter, Absolute Superman were all last week.
Yeah, Batman number 6 led the charge,
Yeah.
way ahead with a ranking number 1, for average of 41 copies per store, reporting. Absolute Superman coming in at number 2 with 28, and then then the drops are really incremental from there.
Yeah.
Probably got Amazing Spider-Man pretty high on there, I think.
Amazing Spider-Man coming in at number 6 with just under 18 copies per store. Then, I mean, when you see Absolute Batman is on the list every single week, it doesn't matter whether or not it's a new one or not. At some point, we're going to get like, 4, 8, 16 weeks on this list. I think it's going to be interesting. But as we mentioned early, Orc hitting number 1, hitting at number 16 with 9.5 copies per store. Then Dynamite coming in at Thundar the Barbarian, landing at 25.
That makes sense.
IDW hits the list with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 3. And then like that, it was seemingly a good week for everybody. What were the big surprises last week? Did either of you were you caught off guard by Dork?
I definitely wish I had ordered more strongly. I felt like we ordered strongly for a title that didn't have we didn't have any advanced information, like as far as numbers. We didn't have a lot of people add it to their pull boxes in advance. That's usually how we kind of judge it. Even if we've done some, like we tend to like take the emails that are sent to us by publishers and do little standalone posts on social media that say for your pull box consideration. And we often see that move the needle, but I think it caught everyone off guard. I actually read it way in advance. That advanced copy they had sent out, I read and I did a review for, and I told everybody it was going to be awesome. But you look at something that looks a little bit Scotty Young and looks a little bit young. Yeah. And then people are very hesitant to jump into it when they have so much money dedicated to other books right now. They just can't they can't skip some of these things, right? There's big events going on. So
how much of that goes into play? I'm always curious. Do you think that the majority of your customers have like a number in mind, a dollar amount in mind when they come to the counter and decide what they're actually going to ring up? Or I feel
like this is what happens. I feel like they have a dollar amount in mind for what I call superhero books. And then for anything else in their mind, that's independent money. And they'll spend that as if it's a totally different spend. It's kind of a weird phenomenon that I've seen over the years.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think like when we have people who, have a number and are like, can I hold this book for next week or something? And then the weeks when like 4 absolutes come out, I'll always throw people off at that time. But yeah, there's definitely a sense of like, if people are making choices because they have $50 a week or something, a lot of what gets dropped tends to be more of the superhero books, and they'll try a new thing. Dork was interesting. I really would love for there to be more high fantasy single issues and like periodical stories. And people are excited about them when they come out, but the interest seems to drop really quick. I feel like they do better in graphic novels. And we all know, what a pain in the butt that is when trying to get things that do better in graphic novels to actually come out in graphic novels when they don't do well in periodicals.
It's all math, right? It's all math.
Yeah, I think we probably could have ordered more and would have sold through it more. But it felt like not only because it was a high fantasy and those do good sometimes and not others, but because it looked more like it was for kids, but really wasn't a kid's book. And so there was some of that discussion about how to market it. But we definitely ordered a grip of the second printing as well. So
I feel like the thing that moved the needle was the character Fizzard.
Yeah.
Because he's a frog and a wizard. I mean,
yeah.
I want to make a quick note before we leave this slide. Ignition Press, our good friends at there, came based seemingly on number 61, Ripcord number 1. Get that list. Anybody read it? Is it any good?
It was all right.
Okay.
I really liked Love Ignited, though. I thought Love Ignited was like a really strong anthology. I like that one a lot. I liked like every story in it, which usually doesn't happen with anthologies.
Awesome. Let's do the slide. Let's bring up the slide that we made Blake do like literally 10 minutes before we went live. This was something that just hit as an idea, something we wanted to play with. Top 400 list is everything that sold in the top 400 single issues that sold in the shops that we're getting reporting data from. And then we take an average per store, and then we average those out, right? So the idea, one of the things we've always looked at is Marvel, for the longest time, tended to lead because they did so much in the, so many SKUs, right? They would do so many covers. But what was interesting is that when you start looking at the average number per entry on that list, obviously you see DC still leading because they're killing everybody right now. Marvel's still holding their own, but not nearly as close as I thought it would be. Dynamite coming in, which was really interesting at number 3, bypassing Image. And what this says to me is that all of those variants that Dynamite does are selling a lot better than anybody really wants to admit, right? They people still love some variant comics, right?
So my understanding, this is actual sell-through data?
So this is sell-through. Yeah, this is actual POS sell-through data. This is not orders. This is just the books that went to fans through the POS systems.
This would be so cool for publishers to see, because I think that this is like a black hole that they don't get. They're like, oh, well, we sold 1 million copies of this book, but it's like, how many of those reach people that are be readers that'll buy issue 2, 3, 4, and 5? That's what they need to know.
Yeah, our experience with Dynamite is that we'll sell a lot of the first 2 or 3 issues of a book and a lot of the covers of the first 2 or 3 issues of the book, and then it drops off real fast.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
And last week was Archie X Army of Darkness. It was Gargoyles, Darkwing Duck, number 1. These are all number 1s. There was also Thundar, right, which is already in the top 10. And then there was a Vampirella, no, that's this week. Last week was Vampirella 10. And there was one more, Thundercats Valentine's Day special, I think was last week. Yeah. So yeah, it's there was a lot of number 1s, like 4 number 1s, and a number 2 of Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, Shiver of Christmastown. So
there you go.
That kind of rings true.
Well, they produce a lot of work. I don't know if you know this about Dynamite, but they do a lot.
I mean, honestly, the one that kind of surprises me there is Titan Comics, because I always think of them as like the Conan and Doctor Who show. And
the Cyberpunk, the Cyberpunk, do they do the Dark Souls as well?
Yes, you're right. Yeah,
those ones do really well for us, and the Cyberpunk comics are like quite good too for video game tie-ins. Not usually the strongest category of content, but they've been doing good work for a lot of those video game tie-ins.
I can tell you that all of their entries on this list, all of Titan's entries on this list were from Conan books. There were four different Conan books. So.
Savage Sword of Conan was pretty big.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. Well, if you are watching this and you really want to dig into the details of the nitty gritty of what we're talking about, and you just want to argue with us, you should be subscribed to the Prana Bullet. This is something we put out once a week. It goes out to everybody who has subscribed. Go to pranadm.com. We send out this email that is all the headlines that we think are important in the comics industry, this top 400 list, the market share reports, and as much fun stuff as we can find. So please do subscribe, and we'll get you on. Andrea, Jen, thank you guys so much for jumping. I don't know if you enjoyed it or not, but jumping on.
For joining us.
Yeah, for joining us. There you go. And we're going to see you both at ComicsPRO next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Awesome. Fantastic. If you want really lousy service, go to a comic book store next week because all the biggies are going to be here.
No, it's going to be all
That is
the-
absolutely
Well,
not
no.
true.
Yeah,
The
great
folks I'm
staff.
leaving in
All the
charge are
eight- it's-
amazing.
It's all the A players that are getting left behind that are going to do awesome. I'm so excited.
That's what you call a call for engagement.
How
Awesome.
very dare you?
How dare you?
I will see you both next week. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
See you
you.
guys.
Wonderful. All right. I'm remembering what's next on the rundown. Oh,
I believe
yeah.
it's our friend Steph. Let's see if her video is working.
Let's see if she figured this out yet. Oh, there she is.
I'm here.
You made it.
I am so sorry I had to go vertical. I apologize.
It's there
Look
seems
at
to be a
how
whole lot of
sunny. Look at that beautiful sun streaming in behind.
I
Oh.
know. I did blur
I'm
it a
so
little bit
jealous.
so you would be able to survive because I figured if
still
you had to
makes
look
me
at the blue
sad.
sky the whole time, you would just break. It's okay, Brian. Your time is coming. You'll
I
go
know.
down south. You'll see the sun. You'll see the light. You'll feel better.
I know.
It's coming. It's coming.
Awesome. All right, Brian. I can't believe I incited so much hatred from calling the service bad while they're gone.
You tell him, Brian. You tell him.
Before we do, I want to jump. Can you and I just got texted something. Steph, do you mind before we jump into
course.
yours? I just wanted before we
it.
We just
leave
got
that
texted.
last little bit. Did you see that text? Can you pull it up?
No. What are you talking
Let
about?
me see if I can pull it up here. Hang on. Let's see if I can get it.
I got texted.
If I present or share, this is us doing the.
What's on fire?
No,
Don't worry about it, Brian.
no, we just got a text from Django. I can't seem to get it to work.
Is now at 98.
Our buddy Django, while we were talking, ran through the list of pronouns that his system tracks. I'm just going to read them off real quick. Not set, more than half, 55.75. He, him, 23%. She, her, 9.5%. They, them, 5%. She, they, 2.6. He, they, 1.2. And then there's another list that goes on with everything below 1%. What's interesting to me, just looking at this really quickly, is if I do the math of 14, 16, 17% versus 23% of he, him versus not he, him. So we're shifting.
some
The
good
world
numbers.
is shifting. Yeah. So awesome. Thank you, Django. Wish you'd been there, a little faster. God, whatever.
You
Is
and
your
gift
individual
horses.
copy,
Oh man, I'm gonna just.
He is in Lower Canada too. So there you go. Awesome. So Steph, you have a presentation. Are you ready to give it?
I do. I have been waiting to talk for a very long time, so please thank you for having me. The trick is not to talk when you're talking, Adam, because I'm so used to just speaking over you.
I understand. I know how difficult that is for you,
I
and
know.
I appreciate
know.
you tempering that, but which you're not
You're
doing
welcome.
right now. I want that noted. But yeah, whatever. Let's.
Give the woman the floor, for God's sake.
As
Stop
we said in
talking.
the as we said in the intro, Steph here is really the reason that we do a podcast, which is the reason we do a live show. It's arguably the reason that Prana and Comics, the magazine, and all of the things that we work on have grown as much as they have. It's because of this podcast. So when we were talking about the people that we have working for us and what they can teach, this one, I will say, was absolutely crucial. So to that end, I'm going to do the thing that I hate to do, which is let Steph talk and give her the floor.
Thank
Take
you
it
for
away.
that. Yeah, I still can't believe you paid me for this. So podcasting, I do want to talk about podcasting because having your voice known in any sort of space where you're trying to curate a community, you need your voice to be heard. You need a platform. Podcasting is one of those things that are very super easy to do. It's very accessible. It's very easy to do yourself, but the problem that most people run into is that they struggle to have their podcast essentially have an impact. People love to go out there and just make podcasts and release them out into the ether and then wonder why they're only getting a handful of listeners at the time. That's why I kind of curated this 5-step program that I've done to create a couple of podcasts, one of them being Comic Industry Insiders, where if you really want to make a good podcast that reaches people and has an impact, you kind of have to think about these core things. And at the end of the day, you're going to notice that one of the things I didn't include in here is equipment. Because at the end of the day, no one gives a rat's ass what equipment you're using. What matters is the quality and so on. So I'll get into that first. But first, I'm going to give a little bit of an intro. Can we go to the next slide, please? I don't know if I have that power to switch. Hello. Yes, that is my face. I apologize. I'm not a graphic designer, so I had to you really zoomed in on my beautiful blues there. So thank you for noticing that. I'm Stephanie Girk. I'm the person behind the scenes of the Comic Industry Insiders podcast. I help build it from the ground up with Adam from the early days. And I'm generally the person in the emails trying to wrangle people onto the show and figure out times at this point in time. But my backstory is I started in comics, I want to say about 2008, 2009, where I went to my first San Diego Comic-Con for a TV show. And then I got introduced to comic books. And from that point on, I was obsessed and addicted. And to the point now where all I want to do is talk about comics and work in comics. So here I am. And one of my favorite things actually has been creating this podcast for comics in itself. Next slide, please. With that in mind, I do want to go to, you need to go back one more, not the audience one, but the previous one. Oh, interesting. Yes, the theme. There we go. Thank you. So these are all questions that you want to be asking yourself while you make the podcast. This is not something that you want to do after or later. The idea is that you're thinking about all these things before you even get to the pitch point of your podcast, before you get close to doing any of the work or any of the releasing or thinking about equipment. You need to be looking at these 5 steps in tandem before you go any steps further. The first one is arguably the most important thing. That's your theme. What is the point of your podcast? What is the point of your show? What is something that ties it all together? You can put a podcast out there discussing your favorite comics out there, but it needs something that drags people in. It needs the elevator pitch. It needs that tie that interests people in a way that also connects all your episodes together. Because when you launch a good podcast, you don't just want one-hit wonders all over the place. You want people to be interested in knowing more. So you do need some sort of overall theme where you can actually go through and help determine what, in every episode, what can I include that will make people want to listen to other episodes as well. Oh, hi, Adam. Adam Bound 1868. Thank you. Yes. You got thrown into the ComicsPRO channel, so now you're getting a big breakdown on that. Number 2, your audience. Okay. Once you have a theme, you have to figure out who your audience is. Now, most people just think I'll start with friends and family. Maybe they'll be interested in, but you also want to be framing your podcast and your whole idea around the concept of who do I want to be listening to this podcast? Is it just going to be your friends and family? Because then you also have to understand that's a limited reach in itself. Or in this case, with Comic Industry Insiders, you're going to have people who work behind the scenes of comics, which means that the content and what I put on the podcast needs to be able to reach and be helpful and interesting to those people as well. Like what we did with CCI, and bringing in the people who work behind the scenes and the retailers as well from all different angles. And once you have your audience, then that can actually help you structure more of your episodes and give you better ideas. So you don't get trapped in this sort of limitless void of I can do everything, but I also don't know what to do because I have too many options. And knowing your audience will also really help you build a really good theme. Next slide, please. And then consistency. This is number 1. This is essentially consistency also equals sustainability. You have to know your own schedule of when you're going to be releasing this stuff. Data has shown time and time again that people are more likely to listen and be a part of your active audience when you are consistent. Something like having a weekly live show and dropping an episode every week, that shows that you are going to be regularly releasing content for people who are interested in learning. And they're going to want to come back, especially on those days, because they know you'll always have a nugget for them that they enjoy. Everyone loves a good routine. Everyone loves a good habit. If you want to build your audience, you need some form of consistency. But you also have to think about it under a sustainable umbrella. If you are releasing content every twice a week, and say you're one of those people that also loves to do like mini episodes, for example, you know, you want to release one big episode once a week, and then you do like a Tuesday, Thursday sort of like let's drop half episodes. That's great. But can you sustain this over a period of a year? These are like questions that I want people to like ask themselves a lot of times as well, because what is sustainable to you might not be sustainable to someone else, and vice versa. You have to know what works for you, because if you want to really engage that audience, you need some sort of consistency in your schedule to really kind of sort of get them used to being, essentially, it's like giving animals little treats. Like how, if you want to train crows, for example, I'm training my neighborhood birds. I feed them at the same time every day, to the point now where they're coming back for me. They're coming back for more. You have to do the same thing with the podcast or any sort of show that you want to do. You have to bring people back for more, and that means consistency in schedule. Next one. And then I'm going to get into, oh, my slide is blank. Oh, is it blank? Do we get nothing there? Nothing. Aha, format. Okay, thank you, Blake. So number 4 is format. And this one can mean a bunch of things. It can be in terms of you're looking at not only the length and everything like that. You're also looking at, am I doing an audio only podcast? Am I throwing in video? Because once you throw in added steps, one, that is more work for you that you have to consider, which also balances consistency and sustainability. But then you're also looking at formatting, as you have to think, if you're bringing guests on, right? Your guests will have to be okay with video. You will also have to be okay with editing video. That adds in another step of work. But then at the same time, you're also limiting your audience by not going into video. So that's where you have to kind of ask your questions in tandem with all the rest. Can I maintain an audio only podcast? Or do I have to go to the point where I can throw in video, but can I sustain doing the video and audio just so I can have a bigger reach? Again, these are things you have to think about before you even launch the show. Next slide. And then we have platform. Platform is super important. I don't consider this one of the tech questions. I consider this as an advance to be like, where do you want to be hosted? Where do you want your reach to be? I slip marketing in there a little bit too, because you're going to have to talk about your show if you ever want it to reach an audience in some way. And where your platform is and where your platform is based will also determine your sort of reach. You will always have an audience of your local community and your local supports. But if you want to start bringing in the audience of a greater outreach, you have to be looking at your platform. Various platforms have different strengths. Depending on where your show, your podcast is hosted, will determine how much your reach can even be in terms of if you want to look at marketing or ads like that. You have to kind of take these things into account as well, because otherwise, how will you know how much your podcast is going to reach out for people? This is where you're going to get your data. This is where you can give something tangible for you to track so you can measure your levels of success. That's where your platform comes on. Next slide, please. And then we're back to, I believe we're going into my last one, which I did not count as a step. I just went straight forward for number 6. That one's going to be just release. It's okay if you can't pull up the slide. In this instance, like once you've done all 5, once you've talked about all 5 and been able to thoroughly answer all those 5 questions, then you can look at making and releasing your podcast. But until you can answer all 5 of those questions, you shouldn't even be touching your podcast. You need to have a better idea of what you want it to be before you can bring it out to the world. Because you're going to never be able to measure your success. You're never going to be able to have any sort of success beyond your local community, your little bubble, your internet bubble, which, as we've seen, can change any day. You're going to want to have to focus on those 5 steps first and then work on releasing. a good podcast. Now, this can be done. It's super easy to see. I broke it down very straightforward in a very simple way because I love simple, straightforward steps. But there is more to this. And like I said, I didn't even touch on equipment because when it comes to creating something like a podcast or anything where you're giving your a platform to your voice, the equipment is the least important thing. What matters is the core values and the core point of the podcast itself. And to do that, you really have to think about those 5 answers before you can even go into, is this something I should make? And is this something I should be putting out there? And one more slide, please. And the next one, comic industry insiders. Adam kind of already touched on this, but Comic Industry Insiders is a great example of something where we found the need in the community, and we found that we do not discuss enough with people who work behind the scenes in comics. We love sharing knowledge of tips and tricks and insights. We get the retailers on board. We talk to all these interesting people and give them a platform that they wouldn't otherwise have. And that's the joy of Comic Industry Insiders, to the point where I was able to get into this big show that was so beyond me, that I'm so happy to just be a part of with Adam and the team. And they've just taken and run with it. And I'm so proud. But at the end of the day, it did just start with a little podcast that just went from, hey, Comic Industry Insiders, let's fill a gap. And then we got here. And for that, I'm so proud. And that is my PowerPoint. So thank you everyone for listening. Adam, thank you for letting me talk. And at this point in time, if anyone does have any questions about podcasting, don't ask Adam. He probably doesn't know. And then that's when I get booted off the show.
All right. I definitely don't know which button to show.
You can't cancel me if you don't know how to mute me. It's not,
I will say I have learned a lot. It's true. I also want to say that aside from these really wonderful tips, the one thing I tell people is you really kind of just have to get started. I think if you and Anthony had not tricked me into doing this on my own, I really thought I was going to be doing this as part of a group. If you're not tricked me into doing it on my own, I would not have started. And it was only because I got started that I was able to do everything that we've done. Yeah. And it just becomes just about reps, right? It just becomes about doing it over and over again. And you don't get good at it until you've done it the first time and sucked.
Yeah.
You know? Yep. So,
yeah. Nothing will ever be perfect the first time you release it. You will always find problems. As long as you're just flexible and learn with your mistakes, you can have that success.
100%. All right,
I will
Steph.
say too, like the equipment that you have right now, whatever it is good enough. Because many people stop doing it, like don't get started because they're like, well, I don't have a really good camera, and like this is probably I have an entire bin of microphones and cameras that I could pull up right now, and anybody that's done this for any period of time has that same thing. You're going to buy other stuff as you go along. And don't worry that this isn't the perfect thing. Yeah. Technology changes and gets better constantly.
Look at me today. I have a full podcasting setup, and today I am on my phone because they did not work.
Yeah, exactly.
So here we are.
Exactly.
We're just pivoting, and we're still here.
And you learned a lot. You learned a lot as you go. I mean, I learned about 3-point lighting, which is, worked out well for me in figuring out how all of this works. I learned what it looks like when my microphone is not really bad. And if you watch enough of the episodes, you're going to hear some really crappy audio. So, we all learn, right? That's it. That's just it. Yes. Live from the Comics Kennel. Let's go. I can't wait to see it. Awesome.
And I will say, just as one final closing remark, I would love to see more comics podcasts out there in the future, because I think it is severely lacking, and we are a big community and we love to talk, as you see when we were all together. So if there's a way we could get more people talking to each other in the comics community, I'm here for it.
100%. We've talked a lot about how it's really difficult to market comics these days, and that's part of it is because we lost those platforms that where comics people were gathering. And if you are a touch point where comics people are gathering, the marketers are going to find you. You want some free comics, start doing a comics podcast. Mm-hmm. Stephanie Girk, thank you for being on. I absolutely appreciate all that you went through to be here today. Because yeah, I'm sure I can
I'm
only
yelling
imagine.
at my Wi-Fi provider later, just FYI. Well, sorry, not yelling, not yelling. I will politely be like, "Hey, why?"
All right, go yell in that
Thank you.
Canadian way that is very polite.
Thank
Hey,
you.
let's bring Blake up here and let's give something away before we do our final thoughts. Blake, are you around, buddy?
I sure am.
Look at you.
Here.
I want it noted. I was never serious about you using AI.
Oh no, well no, because I told you guys like the other night. Sorry if guests are hearing it. You accuse me. I had guests in my own show. I'm like setting everything up, thinking I'm doing. It's a cool project, doing these people a favor, and then they're like, someone's like, someone on the project was kind of concerned you're using Gen AI, and I was like, no, I pay Envato $200 a year for all this wonderful stock imagery that you love to look at and laugh at on the show. No, anyway, it really, I'm not. We all have opinions on AI, and I don't want to get into that, but when you're not using it and get accused of it, it's kind of a bummer, right?
I get accused of it all the time, and like I drew that last night. Like I can draw, so anybody that like accuses me of AI ever again, I will fight you. I'll fight you.
Let's go.
All right, hold on. I had to stop sharing one screen and share another screen.
All right, let's while he does that, if you have not put in hashtag insiders into the chat somewhere, you have about 30 seconds to do so.
Yeah, a couple more shots.
And that will get you this Comics the Magazine #0 that we gave out at Baltimore New York Comic Con that apparently now it goes for $85. Who knew that was going to happen? And a full set of the trading cards, because apparently when you start a podcast, eventually you have to make merch. So
never mentioned it either. Once these are gone, they're not going to print these 0 issues again.
They're gone.
So like,
yeah.
I heard it was a substantial pre-order number, so it sounds like the magazine's fairly popular. So I would say we're offering you gold here, folks.
You gotta get it while it's good. Hey, Nicholas, we use Riverside for our podcast, and we use StreamYard for this live show. I would say either one of those is probably decent at this point. I know that Blake has his opinions about using Riverside for live, but
Riverside is rough. But yeah, for like standard CI Comic Industry Insiders, the local recordings and stuff, it does do a really good job.
Yeah.
And
all
it
right.
has some
All right,
editing
doing
tools
this?
built in too, right?
Oh,
Like,
sorry.
because
I mean,
that's the art of all this stuff is really editing.
It is really the
hard
editing.
part.
100%. All right, let's go.
All right, here we go.
Oh boy. Look at all these names. I love this. Is it who? No, I want it to be Steph. Oh, I was told there'd be comics.
That's awesome.
Nice. Nice name.
I love that username.
I like the account.
That's amazing.
Look at that. All right. I was told there'd be comics. Please send us an email to info@pranadm.com. That's PRANADM.com. That's Dogman. PRANA Dogman. Anyway. All right.
Can I do this next slide?
We'll get that out to you. What's up?
Can I do the next slide?
Oh, please. Run it. Let's go, baby.
All right. You guys ready for this?
Let's go,
You guys
CTA.
ready for this? It's extended, baby! More comics, more artists, more pages. Oh my goodness! And I forgot to hit enter when I pre-made the comment in the chat. It's bigger, it's better, it's longer. You got hit the deal, get on to Zoop. Our friend Joe Pruitt is reaching out to his artist friends. They're doing random art drops of like
he just keeps finding stuff. He keeps finding stuff. We keep thinking that everything that is in the Zoop campaign is in the Zoop campaign, and they keep finding stuff. Yeah, seriously.
Huge chance to get some like awesome art, comics history,
and run by Blake. All the art there, all done by Blake and his AI.
Yes.
Fighting words.
And
fight.
That's
what else do we have? Let's
what else we got? Let's see. We got Manage
come
Comics.
see me at ComicsPRO. I'm apparently hanging out with Adam on Wednesday night. If you go to Manage Comics right now and you scroll down to see us at ComicsPRO, this will take you to a landing page where you can get on our top secret Manage Comics meeting. I don't even know what that's going to look like. So if you go there and sign up, you will get informed about what it is as soon as I know.
It's so secret that the host doesn't know what's happening. That's how secret this
That's
meeting
exactly it.
is.
I hope to be told before it happens, but I'm sure I will be. I have faith in this. But yeah, come see us at ComicsPRO. Super excited to see everyone. It's my favorite thing.
Awesome. What else? What else do we have, Blake? What's next? Oh, Comics the Magazine. Comics the Magazine is the greatest magazine about comics that you're going to find in comic shops of magazines. Over 100,000 pre-orders we got for issue 1. I still am kind of blown by this number. It's and I'm the one who has to figure out how to pay for the printing bill. So let me tell you, that's fun. But let me tell you, why should you are watching this show? Chances are good you're somehow involved in comics, right? You have some sort of business. You have some sort of career in comics. You know where you should be spending your advertising dollars? Let me tell you, it's not Facebook anymore. There was a time that time is gone. Now, if you want to get in front of people who are into comics, you got to be in Comics the Magazine, because we're going to be in shops. I will tell you this right now. Every shop that has every comic shop that has a distributor account is going to get at least one copy of this book. I haven't mentioned that's not even known yet. That's a little announcement. It's happening. We're putting these books out there. They're specifically designed to sell comics to comics fans. They're specifically designed as a place of community. This week, check out our socials. You're going to hear a lot about classified ads. I think you guys are all going to really enjoy being involved in classified ads, because I think they're super fun. Go to comicsthemagazine.com, sign up for our wait list. We're going to send you out emails when the time is right. And man, Blake, have you seen that issue 3 cover yet?
No.
Have you seen that one?
I haven't.
Oh, dude, you're gonna.
I did just hear about the classifieds though, because Gabe sent me a message just mere minutes ago.
There you go. I was supposed to go this morning, Gabe. No, that was you were gonna freak out when you see number 3, dude.
Nice.
This one.
I can confirm I freaked out for 1 and then 2.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like we're on.
Just wait.
Is 3 the thing you told me about the other day?
It might be. Yeah.
You're gonna freak
Oh
out.
no. That's gonna be. Let's see. It's I think that's number 5 actually. The one I told you about.
That one is crazy.
Yeah.
He did send the message this morning. Time runs together on Tuesdays. Time is a flat circle. From wake up to the end of the show, Tuesdays are an interesting day.
Yeah, it is.
But we do it because we love comics.
I'm going to call a shot right here.
Let's hear
I'll
it.
be attending Toronto Comic Con in March. And if anybody comes to my booth at Toronto Comic Con, I will hand them a free copy of Comics the Magazine #1.
No!
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So if you're
I'm
in
gonna
Toronto,
call a similar shot.
Joe just sent me the cover.
Oh yeah, did you see it?
Oh, a live freak out. That is so good. Sorry, Brian thought I was getting excited about what he was talking about.
I was so excited. I was like, I don't know if it's that exciting, but thanks, man. All right.
That is so cool. Oh man, what a great. We have a cool job.
We do have a cool job. All right. I'll also be at C2E2. So whenever you show up, he's not saying he's a pro. He knows what he's doing. All right. We're going to be giving them away probably at C2E2. We're going to be everywhere we can be. We're a small team, but man, our reach is mighty. So,
but go buy them from your local comic shop.
Yeah, you should be buying them from you should be subscribing right now. Go to your local comic shop. Tell them you want a subscription. Tell them that you want to pay full price and that because you want to support them. Even if they want to give you a discount, say no.
Yeah, no, I don't want a discount. I'd like to pay more. I'd like to pay $5 per issue.
I'd like to pay $5, please. for this. We, you know what? I think we have to give up on this being a 1 hour show.
Yeah, I think it might be a 2 hour show, and
It's
it's
not a real
cosplaying
thing
as a
anymore.
1 hour.
I
Yeah,
thought that's why we moved that one meeting, because we knew this was going to start being.
I mean, it's getting.
They're
it's
not
getting
supposed
real.
to go this long, Blake. I do have another job.
He's got 3 other jobs. Let's wrap this one up. Blake, thank you, buddy. Brian, thank you. And you know who else I want to thank? Let's talk to the people I want to thank. You, right there, you. You know what? You love comics so much that you went to your comic shop every Wednesday and you pick up your pulls. If you picked up everything in your pull box, even though it was more than you thought it was going to be, thank you. If you are showing up to work every day at your local comic shop, despite the fact that you're hungover or despite the fact that you're having a bad day or whatever, and you are really focused on making sure that people come in having a good day, thank you. If you run a podcast about comic books and you do reels or you do TikTok about comic books because you love comic books so much, thank you. If you make comics, if you publish comics, if you distribute comics, if you do any of those things, we here at Comic Industry Insiders Live, at Comics Magazine, at all the things that we do, we want to say thank you. Because you know what you did this week? You saved comics. All right. We will be back in 2 weeks live. Next week, we're going to have a pre-recorded show. You're going to like it. And we'll see you in Glendale. Namaste, y'all.